So first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming to this first live stream. I work with TradesFutures. My name is Allison Belanc. I am the Digital Media and Marketing Manager for TradesFutures, and I am here with my colleague, Kaylee. She is the Lean-In Coordinator. Kaylee, please feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, no worries. I'm the Lean-In Coordinator, and I work for NABTU, also doing digital communications and marketing. Happy to have you guys here.
And then, of course, we have the legendary Miss Vicky O'Leary here. And we're so excited to have her. And we decided that we wanted to do an event for Women's History Month. And this is the first of this kind that we're doing. So we're really excited to have you all. And thank you so much for bearing with us. A little nerve-wracking to try something new, but we're very happy to do it for something as special as this. And so the purpose of this event is really just for us to be able to connect with each other, share experiences, share, triumphs that we've experienced, as things that, challenges, dreams for the future, that sort of thing. Just connect with like-minded women. And I think that's sisterhood is always really, really important and very validating. And that feeling of community, I think now more than ever, is very needed. So I'm very, very thankful that you all are here. Now, this is a recorded session. So if for whatever reason you decide that your participation in this, you don't want it to be in any of the recap footage or anything to that effect, you can email me and let me know. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and you can just let me know that you would prefer not to be in the recap if you decide to speak or something like that. Okay, so we're also at the end of this event. We are going to be doing a DeWalt raffle. We have 2 DeWalt tools, and I'm very excited about them. We have a 5-tool combo kit, and then we have a 15 amp 10-inch single bevel compound miter saw. So I have this is our raffle right here. I have everyone's name in here. So we will pull 2 names at the end. So, best of luck to all of you. I'll have someone mail those items to you. Once I found out who wins, I have your email addresses. I will reach out to you tomorrow and have someone mail the items to you. So yeah, good luck. Good luck to each of you. And now I would like to take a moment to introduce our Tradeswomen committee member, and her name is Vicky O'Leary, which I'm sure a lot of you are here for her. She is General Organizer and Director of Diversity for the Ironworkers. She has been with the Ironworkers for 40 years. So kudos to her. Give her a round of applause. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. She was also our Tradeswomen Heroes Award winner November 2021. So Vicky O'Leary joined the Ironworkers International in January 2016. In the time since, she became the chair of the North America's Building Trades Union's Tradeswomen Committee. She is a 40-year member out of Local 1 in Chicago. She completed her triple major Bachelor's of Arts degree in Union Leadership and Administration, Labor Education, and Labor Studies from National Labor College in 2008, and her Master's of Arts degree at Gonzaga University in Organizational Leadership in 2012. In 2018, he graduated from the Harvard Trade Union Program and completed the Cornell National Labor Leadership Initiative. So this is an amazing woman right here, and we're so excited for her to be here and for her to share her experiences and her story with us. So Vicky, without further ado.
Thank you. Well, March is Women's History Month, and it's a time to reflect on the incredible contributions women have made throughout history and continue to make today. In the skilled trades, women have long been a driving force, building, welding, wiring, and shaping the world around us. Yet for much of history, your stories have gone untold. This month, we take the time to recognize, celebrate, and uplift the tradeswomen who have paved the way, those who continue to break barriers, and the next generation who's going to carry the torch forward. Women in construction, manufacturing, and other skilled trades have faced and overcome immense challenges, from workplace discrimination and unequal opportunities to lack of representation and leadership. But despite those obstacles, you have proven your skills, strength, and expertise time and time again. Decades ago, during World War II, women stepped into skilled labor positions in record numbers, proving that they could handle demanding jobs in welding, mechanics, shipbuilding, and more. Rosie the Riveter became an icon, but the real women behind the movement laid the foundation for future generations of tradeswomen. After the war, many were pushed out of these jobs, but the impact they had on the workforce could not be erased. Slowly but surely, women began reclaiming their place in the skilled trades. fighting for equal access to apprenticeships, fair wages, and respect on the job. Today, women in the trades are not just participants in the workforce, but they are leaders, mentors, and change makers. They are master electricians, iron workers, plumbers, heavy equipment operators, and union leaders. They are pushing the industry forward, advocating for safer workplaces, equal pay, and policies that support work-life balances such as maternity leave and on-the-job protections against harassment. Tradeswomen Build Nations, TradesFutures, and our MC3 programs have helped open doors for thousands of women, ensuring that they're not just included in the trades, but welcomed and supported. The numbers are growing. More women than ever are joining apprenticeship programs and union trades, finding long-term, fulfilling careers with excellent wages and benefits. Yet while we celebrate progress, we also recognize that there's still work to be done. Women still make up about 4 to 4.5% of total construction workforce. And while the number is rising, there's still a need for increased recruitment, retention, and leadership opportunities for tradeswomen. As we celebrate Women's History Month, we honor the trailblazers who broke the barriers, the mentors who uplift and guide the next generation, and the apprenticeships who are shaping the future of the trades. Every woman who picks up a wrench, climbs a scaffold, or walks onto a job site is not only building a structure, she's building a legacy. When I think of the impact of tradeswomen, I think of my personal journey. 40 years ago yesterday, I walked onto my first job site. Honestly, I was scared and nervous and all the things. I made it through 1 minute, 1 hour, and 1 day at a time. I promise you, when you look back at your career, each step forward is a win. Each new skill is a win. My best advice for you in your career is to continue using your training centers and to keep up with all your certifications and to engage with your union. Let this month serve as a reminder that women belong in the trades, in leadership, and in every place where skill, dedication, and hard work are valued. Let's continue to support, empower, and celebrate tradeswomen, not just in March, but every day of the year. Wait. Here's to the tradeswomen who are making history with every project that they complete. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. That was amazing. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your experiences and just for that inspiration. I'm sure that I speak for all of us when I say that you're truly inspiring. And yeah, we're very, very grateful. We're very, very grateful. I wanted to open up the floor for people to share in the chat. A few people already did, but go ahead in the chat if you haven't already. Drop your name. Well, we can see your name, but your trade, and how many years you've been in your trade. So go ahead and drop that in the chat. Yeah, Mary, we agree. Couldn't agree more. And then also drop in the chat how many people, if you're planning on coming to TWBN this year. So drop that in the chat too. Oh, wow, Chelsea, good for you. 13 years, 40 years. That's wild. Ooh, yeah. 5.5 years. That's awesome, Mary. Nice, Crystal. 21 years. Wow, Fiona, that's amazing. Hi, Yeska. I hope I pronounced your name right. 4th year apprentice. Way to go, girl. You go, girl. Oh, good. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you, Fiona. Definitely come and say hi if you see us. Alice, 6 years. Good job. Good for you. I've worked for TradesFutures for a year, so I'm here. I'm here. It's been a year and some change. Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. It's in Chicago this year. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Last year was amazing. Bethany is the Super Bowl, yeah, no, for sure. Does everyone agree with Bethany's comment? I think so. Bethany said TWBN was a Super Bowl for her every year. That's awesome, Fiona. That's amazing. I'll definitely stop by. That's awesome. I'm so happy you all are here. This is amazing. I can feel the energy in the chat. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the floor for questions, and to share your experiences. So essentially how this is going to work, it's going to give you an opportunity to, get on screen, or if you can keep your screen, you can keep your camera off if you'd like. It's really your preference, and just to open use your mic and share your story in that way. And so how it's going to work is there should be a button at the bottom of your screen that's going to give you a request to call in. That call in means request to speak, essentially. And once you click on that, there's going to be a little prompt box where it's going to be what do you want to say, and you can just say answer the question. That's fine. And then I can click on it, and then you'll be able to share with everyone. So we'll start off with, well, first of all, Vicki, would you be open to taking some questions?
Sure, I'll take some questions.
Sure. Does anyone have any questions for Vicki? If so, go ahead and do your request to call in and drop your question in that little box, and then I'll turn your mic and everything on. So if you have any questions, or you can put it in the chat, either is fine. I don't see any questions yet. Okay, if we don't have any, wait a minute, is there one? Kayla, do you see one in the chat?
No questions in the chat.
Okay, I don't have any for the call-in, so if no one has any questions for Vicki, we're going to go ahead and move to the general questions section.
Bethany has a question. She wants to know, Vicki, what has been your best strategy for challenging leadership that does not see the value in supporting women?
Well, first, I got to say that it's changed a lot since I first started at the International. A lot of the old timers have moved on, and now we've got that younger generation that are in power. And I'm seeing a lot more support for women in the trades. And when they don't see the value, then I remind them that there's not enough white men, there's not enough nephews and sons and brothers to take all of these jobs, and that we have got to make sure that we have got enough people to pay the pensions of the folks that are already in. So we've got a good argument for why, and some of them have taken a little bit of time to get them turned around, and the ones that haven't, I'm going to keep beating on until we get them straightened out. So I think it helps too that our general presidents, and I'm speaking for the Ironworkers general president, but I think I can speak on behalf of most of the general presidents, are really on board and really want their ranks to grow, and they want their sisters to have jobs within the building trades.
Thank you.
How does
so
somebody
much.
start a role in your field educationally? Oh boy. Well, first, let me just say I wasn't really methodical. I was going through a hard time in my marriage, to be quite frank with you, and I felt like I could either, I guess, start drinking or start hitting the bars, or I could go to school, and chose that going to school would probably be healthier for me and my family. And I chose the National Labor College back in the day because it was a union college and it took my college credits. But there's actually colleges today that take your college credits to parlay them into a degree. So it doesn't have to be the National Labor College since it's not here, but there are places that are filling that void. And that was important to me because I felt like my apprenticeship should count for something. And it did. So with that, that knocked off a year and a half of college time by using my apprenticeship credit. And once I got into school, I realized I really liked it. So that's why I got 3 bachelor's degrees. And I felt like doing union administration was the same as business administration. So maybe that would parlay into something else. Union education, well, they always need teachers at school. So I thought, okay, I'll get my degree in education. And then labor studies. And I thought it was important for us to know where we came from in order to move forward and not create the same mistakes that we had made in the past, or at least to learn from them. And yes, Ivy Tech is one of those that do take your apprenticeship as college credit, as well as, help me here, the one that Tom Krieger always works with.
Rowan.
Yes, Rowan. Thank you.
Rowan.
Thank you for throwing that out there.
Yeah.
And then once I finished that, I took an OSHA 145-hour class that I would never recommend. Y'all think OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 is bad? Do a OSHA 145 hours. It was 6 months every Tuesday and Thursday from December to June in Chicago. And I swear every Tuesday or Thursday it snowed or rained. So would not recommend OSHA 145 hours. But it did help me as far as learning more about OSHA, I guess. And then I decided I really liked school and I missed being in school, so I went back and got my master's degree at Gonzaga, and I got it in organizational leadership, thinking that that's kind of an MBA. I sent my resume to the International anytime something changed. So I wasn't like a pain in the butt, but I kept sending my resume whenever something was added to it. Hey, just in case you didn't see my last one, I've now added this. And it was very cool when President Dean called me and asked me if I could meet him. I didn't even know he knew who I was, honestly. But I guess staying on the radar and also going to Tradeswomen Build Nations, meeting other people and being involved was help parlay where I was at to where I am now. I hope that answers your question.
That was wonderful. Yeah, that tenacity and the networking piece is major key, I think, in any career really, but especially in a union space, I feel that like really getting to know your sisters, your other people within the union community, within the trades community, and just being tenacious, like going after what you want, like that's always a win. You might feel like you're being annoying at the time, but it's well worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. There were a couple other questions. Just scroll back up. There were 2. Someone asked, how do you handle people speaking, like talking over you when you're trying to, I guess, get your point across. And then there was another question about how do you handle your experiences specifically as a woman being kind of glossed over, essentially, like in this setting.
So the first question was how I handle men speaking over me. Many times
Okay,
I'll let them finish. And then I'm going to say, okay, now I let you talk. And now you're going to let me finish. Because then I'm calling them out, but I'm not making them feel like a jerk, or maybe I am, but I'm not doing it in a vicious way. But I'll let them go ahead. You can talk over me, but when you finish, now you're going to listen to what I have to say. And the other question was,
I'm sorry. The other question was, how do you deal with your experience as a tradeswoman being potentially just kind of glossed over or whitewashed in the workplace?
as for my role now, I don't feel like I am. And probably back in the day I was, but here's what we all have to remember. We're smart, and we have learned how to not only leverage our bodies to where we don't injure ourselves, but we're also working safer than the men. On the most part, we are safer workers, and we tend to think things through before we just jump in. And if a guy wants to jump in, by all means, but I'm going to sit there and methodically think about how I'm going to do this to where I'm not going to injure myself or my partner. So I think that sometimes you just got to let them hurt themselves and then say, now, would you like to hear my idea?
No, I think that's a fantastic answer. Thank you. Did anyone have any other questions for Vicky? I think we got all of them. We did, Kaylee. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Vicky.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate you being here. Okay, now we're going to open up the floor for some other questions, and this is going to give you all the opportunity to hop on camera if you'd like, or again, you can drop your answers in the chat. That's also fine. The first question that we're going to ask is, how has working in this industry changed your perspective on the building trades? That's the first question. So how has working in this industry changed your perspective on the building trades? Now you can request to call in and share live with us, or drop your answer in the chat. Thanks, Kaylee. Okay, so how has working in this industry changed your perspective on the building trades? Well, I'll go ahead and share mine where people are answering. So before I started working, for TradesFutures, I really wasn't too familiar with the building trades. And the one thing I will definitely say that I really appreciate working in this space is the feeling of camaraderie and it being a true community. I think that's really important. Like when you work in an environment where people give you the grace to actually grow, and where you feel like you can ask questions and it's not looked at as a blemish on your abilities. More so it's like, okay, I'm asking for help and I'm giving the opportunity to actually learn the thing that I'm asking. I think that's really refreshing. So I find it a very supportive space. That's me personally. I'm obviously not out in the field doing what you all are doing, but just my experience on this side of it. Vicky said it's far more complicated than I ever thought. Yeah, Fiona, honestly, it didn't really change. It's all I've ever really known. Bethany said, this isn't just for people who couldn't get into college. You have to be smart, a problem solver, and be able to think on your feet. You can make good. Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. And I think it's really, not everyone is suited to, sit at a desk, or, that's not everyone's path in life. And I think, having the option to make really great money and have great benefits and work with your hands and be out actually in the world every day, I think is such a great option, because everyone's not wired the same. They're not. Mary said, I knew nothing about it, but being in a supportive community, anything is possible. I couldn't agree with you more. This community is so important. Like, there's a Bell Hooks quote. Is it Bell Hooks? Yes, no one is healed in isolation. And I love that quote because it really has to deal with the importance of community, and sisterhood is a strong community. I don't think there's a stronger one. I don't think there's a stronger community. Anna said, I had no idea how endless the opportunities were. I thought I was journey out and that was it. Yeah, there's a lot more to come, a lot more beyond. Absolutely. I'm blown away by all the stories that I hear about all the amazing things that tradeswomen are doing and continuing to do. Or do we have any more answers? Did I miss anyone? No. Okay.
And I just want to say that Anna is changing lives. She's working in the prison program in Oregon, doing a pre-apprenticeship.
Oh, wow.
And I went to the program, and holy moly, she's doing phenomenal work. It's God's work, what she's doing. So thank you, Anna.
That's amazing. So is she working in one of our ARPs? I didn't know that.
She is an iron worker out of Portland, and they and the bricklayers and the cement masons have a pre-apprenticeship in the prison program.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome, Anna.
And Anna also
Yeah.
wrote the grant for it. So
Oh
good job,
wow.
Anna.
Okay, Anna. That's amazing. Go off. That's amazing. That's such important, like giving people another chance. Like I don't think people's lives shouldn't be done just because of a mistake. You know, I think there should be an opportunity to move forward. So that's such needed work. That's amazing. Good for you, girl. See, look at all this positivity in the comment section. This is exactly what we were saying. This is the sisterhood right here, right here. Okay, so the next question we have is a story of mentorship or support from a woman within the industry. So I mean, we support them right here in these comments. So that's that's the first answer right there. Okay, so yeah, share a story of mentorship or support from a woman within the industry. While we're waiting for those answers, Vicky or Kaylee, do you all have any experiences you want to share?
I'll just share, again, I'm not in the field with you all. I'm in the boring office with me and Allison, but my boss, Betsy, is one of the most supportive women I've ever met
She
in my
is.
entire life. She does not need to bring me into these spaces. She does not need to be as good of a mentor as she is, but she chooses to be every single day. And I am very, very grateful to have found a place and a female boss as supportive as NABTU. So that is my story.
I love
Yeah,
our Betsy.
she's a real one.
And I have to tell you, even at my
Really?
level in my work, there are times when I get an issue that I need to talk to another sister to work through whatever the issue may be to where so that I come to the best conclusion or the best route to take to try to fix a problem or an issue. So don't think that the sisterhood ends. And I can tell you that NABTU's Tradeswomen Committee, we are a very tight group of women. And I know that I can lean on them whether I'm having a bad day, whether I just need to vent, whatever it is. And even Kaylee's boss, Betsy, I've been known to call and just be like, ah. But it really, the sisterhood, one of my best friends I met at early Tradeswomen Build Nations when it was still Women Build California, and still to this day talk to her all the time.
Yeah, the sisterhood is so, sorry, I'm listening and reading the chat at the same time, so I apologize for that. Let me go down. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anyone. Okay, all right, Mary, I see you're calling. All right, I'm going to let you in. Sorry, we're still figuring this out. Hey, we see you, hi.
Hi, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Sorry,
you.
I know it took a little bit to figure it out.
No, sorry, they're on our end too.
So I would say within the Philadelphia area, like all the trades ladies are very, very like we've kind of made a support group to lean on each other, go do something. So I just got out of my time. So like I'm like fresh in the water of where can I go within my union. So I'm pretty close with a electrician that she's like, yeah, you need to be doing this. If that's what you want to do, keep pushing, keep going to your elected officials and get to where you need to be. And I'm so grateful that even my union officials, all the men support all the ladies within their local to say any idea you have or whatever path you want, they're going to make sure that you have the right resources and anything you need to get to where you want to be.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, it's amazing to have that community and that support. It really does make a world of difference. A world of difference. All right, I'm going in the chat. Someone else tried calling in. Fiona, if you want to try to call in again. Okay, Bethany said, I'm the only woman in my local and the only woman in my trade in my wait a minute, I lost it. I lost that comment. It went away. Hold on, guys. I appreciate everyone's patience.
Here, I've got Bethany. She says, I'm the only woman in my local and the only woman in my trade in my state. I didn't even know there were other women in my trade for the first few years. My sisters Amy and Carissa started calling to check on me. They now talk to me regularly and mentor me as I grow so I can learn from their stories and experiences.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's good to have someone in your corner that's going to hold us accountable and then make sure that we're doing okay. Because everyone needs that. Everyone needs that shoulder. Everyone needs that boost. Everyone needs that lift. No one goes it alone. That is for sure. So Crystal says, one of our retiree women reached out to me when I was an apprentice and told me I should work in the hall as a dispatcher. At that time, I didn't even know what that meant, but I kept it in the back of my head, and I definitely would not be where I am today without her planting the seed. I was the first woman to come on staff for the IUOE in Alaska. That's amazing. Congratulations to you. First woman on staff. That's awesome. That's awesome. I think Alaska is such a beautiful, beautiful place. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody.
See Margaret's question.
Okay.
And it says, do you think higher ups, men in unions, should have access to issues, names of what goes on and is said at the conference? Should men be sent to represent women's voices? I'm going to tell you what we do. I think it's awesome when the men come, if they're coming to be allies. And we need to give them the space to grow too. And how are they going to grow and learn if they don't go to our conference? On the other hand, during the Ironworkers Caucus, the only men that are allowed to stay in the room when we get to a certain point of the caucus is the international representatives, the international men. All the other business agents and managers and whoever have to leave because we want the women to be able to ask questions to our general president that they don't maybe feel safe asking if they're in the room. So we're trying to have it the best of both worlds, right? We need them there. We need them to learn about the issues that we have. And we also need to create a safe space for the women during our caucus. And I think that's important too. So, talking to your rep on the Tradeswomen committee, if you feel like your caucus needs to have that time set aside, maybe it's only a half an hour of your caucus needs to be set aside where just the women are in the room with just the international reps. That's something you can ask your Tradeswomen committee rep to see if that can happen.
Thank you for that, Vicki. Thank you so much. That was an excellent question. I agree. Yeah, as long as the men folk are down for the cause, I think it's okay. I think there was one other person that I missed. Oh, Anna. It was Anna's comment. She said, "When I'm having a day, I call the lady on the left."
That's me. Thank you, Anna.
And then Anna said, "I call my mom every day after work and we just talk it out." Look, I call my mom too at my big 38 years of age. I have called my mom before. I remember when I first started at my job, now at TradesFutures, I was having some sleep issues and I remember I was so tired the whole week. I was really happy to be there, but I was so tired. And I remember I called her on the phone and I was like sobbing. And I was like, "Mom, I made it through the first week." She was like, "Good for you. Like, no, go lay down." So yeah, sometimes you just got to call your mom. Okay, if we don't have any other comments there, we can go on to the next question. I want to make sure we leave enough time for the raffle too. Okay, the next question, what are your hopes for women in the labor movement? I'm sorry, y'all, it's almost 8 here and I feel like I can't even read now. This is because it's getting dark outside. Okay, Alice did have a question. Okay, Bethany said to see women at the international level in all trades. Mary said change the industry standard. Alice had a question, how does your union handle elections? Is it one member, one vote? Is it a closed ballot? That was her question. Fiona, true unobstructed opportunity and equity. I agree. Yeah, I believe the union it's one member, one vote, correct?
That's how it is in my local, but maybe
I think that's how it is for us, like for the office workers union. I think that's how it is for us. Yeah, I believe that's how it is. Okay. Mary, one member, one vote every 3 years. Mm-hmm. Anna said one journeyman, one vote. Victoria said same here. Okay. Alice said we should have something similar to the Electoral College.
That's interesting. What trade are you, Alice?
Carpenters. Okay. Oh, your general election's coming up.
Well, make sure you vote.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so only delegates can vote.
Oh.
Gotcha. That's different.
Yeah, I agree. Do we have any more responses? Yeah, that is interesting, Alice. I agree with you.
So, well, I kind of get what she's saying. So at the local level, it's one person, one vote. But when you get to the international officers and you're going to convention, it's the delegates that vote for the top officers in the international. And I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about or if you're talking about local union elections. So I guess it makes sense.
Okay.
If it's a convention or if it's local union elections.
Yeah, that does. Thank you for that. So the last question we have is, what's the most rewarding part of your job? Vicki said seeing all of you at TWM and feeling the power of sisterhood, yeah. Fiona said knowing that I'm setting the groundwork to make the future easier, safer, and more welcoming place for the next. Absolutely. Alice said local is one member on the vote council's delegates and general's delegates. Okay, that makes sense. Very hard to create change, if not, yeah. Hopefully that changes. Mary said, being able to make a difference within my local, one action at a time. Bethany said, helping move the world. I work in the background and make the world more accessible for everyone, maintaining conveyances. That's very true. Victoria said, being a delegate for TW Ben is on our ballot starting this year. Sorry, I tried to send this before the question.
That's cool.
Crystal said, saving a brother or sister from getting screwed by their employers, filing a grievance and winning. Usually it's handled with a conversation, but always great winning for our members. Yes. That union power is really important. All right, is there any other responses? Okay, well, if there aren't any more, first of all, we deeply value each and every response, and each and every person that's here. We are so grateful to have had this experience with you all, and for you all just being here and sharing your stories and bearing with us through tech issues and things like that. Hopefully it wasn't too treacherous. Victoria said contributing to building something that will be here long after me. Absolutely. Yeah, I did to think about that, to think that you're putting up a building or something that someone generations from now could be just sitting in front of, like, on a bench reading a book or being in the building. Like, that's amazing. That's a really amazing. That's really, really amazing. Now we're going to do last and final aspect. We're going to do the raffle. So I have everyone's names in this hat. I put all the names in a hat before we started. So the 2 prizes, again, they're from DeWalt. We have a 5-tool combo kit, and then we have a single bevel compound miter saw. I'm reading another comment. Exactly. Also showing my daughter tradeswomen are badass. Absolutely, Chelsea. No, that's amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna pull the first name. Well, let me do this here so y'all can see. Okay, so the first winner is Tori Boble. So Tori Boble's getting the 5-piece set. So Letisa Kindred is receiving the saw. So Tori and Letisa are the winners. So congrats to those ladies. Congratulations. And does anyone else, before we wrap this up, does anyone else have any comments or anything they would like to share? Oh, I'm so glad you think so. Thank you, Crystal. I felt like this was fun. Mary, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I think with PPE and making like an industry standard, how can we get people who actually make those decisions involved in kind of the discussions? So, like there are like women related like gloves and stuff like that, but there's not enough out there. So how can we get more manufacturers involved in that process to kind of expand it? Because obviously more and more ladies are entering the workforce, so you need more variety. You need to have guys more aware, like foremen and all that stuff, more aware of the resources. So how do we make them aware of that as well?
I believe CPWR is coming out with a list of PPE and manufacturers that make women's PPE, and it's going to make it so much easier for us to be able to go to that list and find what we're looking for. We may not be able to buy it off the shelf like has been historic since I started, but to actually be able to get it in my size and actually have different manufacturers that make it, it's going to make it a lot more simpler. So hopefully we can get CPWR to do a workshop on that at TWBN, or at least maybe come out with it and put it on their website where we can get to it and actually give you the link to it.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for all these positive comments in the chat. We are so happy that you all enjoyed this today. We definitely enjoyed it. And thank you so much again, Vicki, for being here. We really appreciate you being here and answering your questions and sharing all of your guidance and knowledge with us. Like, it really means a lot. So thank you so much for your time.
And I see that they dropped in the chat CPWR's list. So there it is.
Oh, perfect.
Grab it off of that.
Yeah, it's in. Yeah, it's there. No, thank you. Yeah, thank you all so much for being here. This really meant a lot, and we're definitely, if you think this is something that we should start doing regularly, I would definitely like to. So I think this is going to start to become a regular thing. We might do different topics each time, but I'm thinking maybe monthly. So if you think it's something that would be dope to continue, I would love to continue. And maybe we'll put like a CTA on social media to get you all's ideas of topics that you want to discuss and things that are important to you, that we can have some discussions and bring some guests in to talk about. I think that would be helpful. I'm trying to read the comments. Carrie, no, I can imagine that is. Sometimes things just take time. So, okay, great. I'm seeing some, okay, awesome. All right, well, we will continue doing this then. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Kaylee, for being here. Vicki, again, thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you all at the next live stream. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.